Ladies and gentlemen, hello, hello. Welcome back to the garage. If you're watching this live, I'm going to check in with you. If you're watching this in the future, hello from the past. I had to put my glasses on because I'm I can't see. I don't know. So I got this new Stream Deck thing and this ECamm software that I've had for a while, but I've been playing with it the last couple days. And I wanted to do a test run and see if you guys had any Oscar Hangover questions for me that I could use to, or that I could answer while I'm testing it out. And with that being said, I'm going to see if this works. All right, so I think AJ's here. I saw him saying what's up earlier. I think it's showing chat messages that started after the session began. I did have a couple in there before the session started. So what's up, everyone? Whenever you're tuning into this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I got a little progress bar up there that I don't know if that's going to work either, but trying to get to 3K subs this year. That's my short-term goal. Let's see. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to go over and see if this works too. So my man Nerdrovert, Jason, a buddy of mine, he wants to know if I plan on seeing Black Bag. I do. I will absolutely be seeing it. The problem is like, and by the way, my kids are asleep and they're right above me, literally up here. So this could be an abrupt ending if I hear a child crying. My wife went to Texas today for work. She had actually just landed. I got a text from her that she just landed after like 5 delays because we had huge storms here today. And she just landed in Dallas, or no, she landed in Dallas and then she ended up in San Antonio, which is where her conference is. So she made it there safely, but we had all kinds of like thunderstorms and crap today. But anyway, I'm parent of the year because I'm live streaming while my kids are asleep. But they just went to sleep about a half hour ago, so I think I'm safe for a little while. But if I'm like, all right, guys, peace out, and I hang up, that's why. So I do plan on seeing Black Bag. Here's the deal. My wife's out of town until Thursday, and I'm doing a podcast episode with a friend of mine on Opus, which is the new A24 kind of like horror thriller with Iowa Debris and John Malkovich. So I have to see that. So I'm going to see that Tuesday matinee so that I can talk about it on Tuesday night with her. She's a big Io fan, who isn't? Am I right? So I'll be doing that first, even though based on what I've seen, that kind of worries me a little bit. But I do plan on seeing Black Bag. I just don't know when, Jason. It'll probably be the following week because I'll have to pull up. In fact, I'm gonna practice screen share here on the stream as well. So I'll have to bring up the calendar for the rest of the year. But I don't think there's any huge releases next week that would interfere with that. By the way, did you guys see they announced Mickey 17 is coming on streaming like next week? I mean, the theatrical run is not what it used to be. AJ, what's up, man? We spoke earlier. It's my guy right there. Man, I'm navigating this. I'm navigating my life here. Joey, what's going on, brother? How are you? Welcome back as always. Alex, same to you. Thank you, AJ. Yeah, I'm playing around here. Let me show you guys what it looks like with the screen share, and then I'll pull up some stuff if it works. Yeah, it works, right? Okay, so let's see. Let me answer this real quick. New release calendar movies 2025. Let's see here. Okay, so like I said, what the hell? What day is it? It's is it March, right? So let's see. I'll be seeing. So this is this week. So I'll be seeing Opus Tuesday, which means I had to hold off on Black Bag. I saw Novocaine, but I went to a screening for that last week, so that's the reason I got to see that one. And then next week, this is what I wanted to check. Oh, Snow White. Yikes. I don't know. Did y'all see the positive feedback on that, though? I saw a couple positive reviews about that, which, I mean, I'm not trying to be a hater. That just kind of surprised me a little bit. I do love Rachel Zegler, so, I mean, I'm going to check it out, but I thought it would be more like a Disney Plus release thing for me. So I'm not really worried about that one. So this week is probably when I'll go see Black Bag, but I'm really excited to see it. I love Steven Soderbergh, and he's always turning in just quality shit. Yeah, AJ, I saw your comment there. I wish I knew how to get back to it. Hang on a second. I'm sorry, guys. I'll figure this all out, I promise. I also don't know how it has them sorted. 18 days for Mickey 17. I don't know if you guys saw. I kind of liked it. It got some divisive reviews, but I kind of dug it. Yeah, Robert Pattinson was doing his damn thing, though. I know that. AJ's got another comment here. He's got a question for me. If I see a question mark, I'll definitely jump on those so I can answer. I'm only going to do a little bit of time tonight. I just want to test this stuff out, see what you guys think of it. If you do any, if I get any new subs or chats or anything like that, it's supposed to do like an alert, but I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out when the time comes. AJ says, what's more likely to happen? Mikey Madison winning her second Oscar or Emma Stone getting her third? I know which one I would rather happen. I would probably rather Mikey get her second one, and then they both have two, right? But I mean, Mikey's 25. She's gonna have to really be like smart with her choices because it can go awry really quickly once you win the Academy Award. Like everything's getting thrown at you, and obviously more projects are worth more money and the paycheck's bigger, and it's like, you just got to be careful. Like I think of like Chris Evans, for example, like, I mean, I really like him and I know he has Materialist coming out this year, which I'm excited for, but I mean, what's the dude done in the last like 2 years? It's like all like Netflix action movies that he made like millions of dollars for, but nobody's going to remember. Now, of course he hasn't won an Oscar, but he was definitely a very prominent actor, I think. Even in like the MCU space and rom-coms before that. I mean, like Knives Out, like he could have done a lot of like really, really good shit that really kind of showed off his skills, but I don't know what he's been doing the last couple of years. And then who's the Ariana DeBose, right? Isn't she the one that won for West Side Story and then kind of went crazy with her choices too? She hasn't really done anything since then, I don't think. Unless I'm thinking of somebody else. I think that's who it is, though. But yeah, Mikey's got to make good choices. I mean, she's got to stay. If it were me and I was her agent or her advisor, I would be telling her to stay in that like independent drama space that really gets to show off her skills. I was joking around on the video I made about Mikey a couple weeks ago because I saw that somebody already reached out to her about a spot in the Marvel universe, and I'm like, oh God, like, I'm happy for her for like from a monetary standpoint, but that's not the thing to do right after you win an Oscar. Emma Stone had the benefit of starting out more so like leading up to the Oscar. Mikey got the Oscar right out of the gate. Really, I mean, obviously she wasn't going to get any notoriety for movies like Scream, so she just from a acting Oscar dramatic standpoint, she just came out and won the Oscar with like her first role. So Emma Stone had an opportunity to kind of build up to that. She was in Superbad initially, and that obviously is not an Oscar player, but it did make her kind of a name for herself. Easy A. So she like built up to her Oscar wins. So I think it's probably, to answer your question, it's probably more likely that Emma Stone would win again before Mikey would win again. But I think if Mikey makes really, really good choices and handpicks those filmmakers that she's working with, like Sean Baker, then who knows? Emma Stone keeps working with Yorgos. I mean, he's Oscar friendly, so I don't know what Begonia is going to be this year. I'm kind of worried about that one actually. But to answer your question, probably Emma Stone would be my guess. Joey says he went to see Mickey 17, and you've been busy with college. So, you want to see Mickey 17? Well, you'll have a chance. You'll have a chance to see it at home, brother, because it's going to be streaming after 18 days, which is crazy. Oh my God! I mean, it's too soon. We got to give these movies room to breathe in the theater, Between Regina Hall and Iowa Debris, which has the better chance at contending for supporting actress? I haven't dove into those predictions yet. I mean, off the top of my head, I would say Regina Hall because she has a little more lineage, a little more experience. Iowa Debris is going to face the kind of uphill battle with the Academy when you're like shifting genres because she's obviously known for not only predominantly comedy, but also she's mostly known for TV. So she's going to be like crossing over. And a lot of times the welcome committee for that type of actress or actor, especially if they're young like she is not super welcoming. So I don't have the stats in front of me, but off the top of my head, I would say Regina Hall's got a better shot. Plus, that's PTA, so he gets performances out of them. So I'm not saying that Luca won't too, but I mean, how crazy would it be in a year after Mikey Madison to have Iowa Debris in the mix for like any kind of Academy Award supporting actress? Most likely, that would be crazy. Like I would be in love with that because she's so awesome, and we got to get Rachel Sennett there too. Get her one of these roles at one of these points. Alex says he rarely goes to the theater anymore because it's all dubbed, and he prefers to watch the English original. Where do you live, Alex? Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that, so that would kind of get on my nerves too. Joey says he thinks. Oh yeah, it's going to depend on what Mikey Madison's next movie is going to be. That's kind of what I was saying too. He wants to see her work with Robert Eggers. Man, that would be awesome. Man, that'd be so good. Yeah, me too. I love Emma Stone, but also I think it is fresh for us as Mikey fans. Like it's just happened. You know what I mean? So it's fresh for us. Let me switch back to this view and see if it works. Yeah, there we go. I'll go back to. I was going to show you guys my 2025 list. I did a video on that, by the way. If you guys want to check it out, I did like a way too early, like I'm insane, of what might be in the running for Oscars next year. So if you haven't checked that out, it's on the channel. But I agree with you on that. Thank you, AJ. Let's see. Emma is probably my favorite actress. I hope she eventually wins her third Oscar. She will. She will. I'm not saying she's like Meryl Streep level, but she's gonna get some stuff. Let's see. Jason says, "Oh my God, dude, who's not in it?" I don't even. I stopped keeping track. I can't keep track of it. Hold on a second. I'll pull that back up. Do they have it updated on Letterboxd? I mean, it's insane, dude. Every time I wake up on Twitter, there's like another actor. Hold on a second. I'll share this with you guys so you can see it. Okay. So, let me get this out of the way. Here you go. Holy shit, guys. Matt Damon, Tom Holland, I knew about. Zendaya, I knew about. Anne Hathaway, Lupita Nyong'o, Robert Pattinson, Benny Safdie, Charlize Theron. I think that was all I knew. No, I knew about John Barenthal too. But after that, I didn't know about Leguizamo, Elliot Page, which makes sense. Working with Nolan again. Mia Goth. Jason, why didn't you tell me that? Oh my God, did you tell me that? I didn't know that. Mia Goth is in it, guys. Hold on, I'll let you guys look at Mia real quick. There you go. You're welcome. By the way, I have custom emotes. Hold on. I'm excited. So we doing memberships on the channel. By the way, I think it's like $3 a month, and you get all my videos early, like a couple days early. How does it work? So I went in also and I did these custom emotes, and I got Mia Goth on one of them. Here you go. So that's Mia. we got Leo here doing his like laughing at you thing, and then I got a verified symbol, and my just a couple stupid ones there. So yeah, there you go. I don't know why it tickles me. What do you guys think of Mia Goth though? By the way, throw a thumbs up if you're watching this. Give me some likes on the video if you're watching it live. I mean, if you watch it later, then give me a thumbs up too. But that's anybody that's watching right now. It doesn't show up on the overlay though. You see that? But you guys can see it on YouTube, I assume. Okay. Anyway, I love Mia. So let me go back. Okay. That cast is insane. To answer your question, absolutely, just utter insanity. You gotta imagine there's probably like 5 filmmakers or less that would like be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like looking at that cast list, probably half of those guys didn't even take like a giant paycheck. You know what I mean? It was probably just like, yeah, sure, Christopher Nolan, especially coming off the heels of Oppenheimer that won, ton of Oscars and made $1 billion. Sure, yeah, I'll do that. Just provide lunch for me and I'll do it. That's probably what most of them said. I mean, what? Tarantino, Scorsese, Nolan. I mean, who else? Give me some names of other directors that could just do that by literally just snapping their fingers. And they're going to be anybody would work with them just based on who they are. I'm trying to think maybe Greta Gerwig at this point. I mean, I know Narnia is going to be pretty stacked too, and I know that's kind of weird because she has such a kind of a short like film career, but I feel like she's pretty sought after right now too. Let's see. So yeah, the cast is lit. Adrian Brody is in talks to star in Damien Chazelle's Evel Knievel. I saw that, but I thought, it would be him and Leo. Okay. I mean, I don't know why. To answer your question, AJ, I don't know why I've been kind of off on Brody lately. I don't know. I think maybe because I was pissed about the whole Timothy thing, which that's not Brody's fault. I mean, I'm at fault. Brody gave a Excalibur performance in The Brutalist. He deserved the award for it. I don't know. I just got kind of tired of him this award season. I know that sounds bad. I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to be honest with you. So I'm not one of those people that's like, oh my God, that's the greatest casting news I've ever heard. Just because I'm kind of like, I need a break from Brody. I don't know why. I mean, he hasn't done anything wrong. He didn't do anything to me, But I love Leo, and I do think that that's probably going to be a huge awards player. That probably won't be until 26 that it comes out, right? I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that'll probably be a huge awards player the following season. Because first of all, it's Damien Chazelle, even though Babylon, I don't know what they did with that movie. That was one of my favorite movies of the last like 5 years, and it didn't get shit, including best score, which was crazy. But if so, I read a stat when I was doing a video the other day, and I was doing some research for it, that Leonardo DiCaprio, the last 7 movies that he's been in have been nominated for Best Picture. So, I mean, the guys, if you want to be nominated for Best Picture, cast Leo. You know what I mean? Get the checkbook out and call Leonardo. So I think at a minimum, we're looking at maybe lead actor for Leo, supporting for Brody, just a couple years removed from The Brutalist. And I know what I said is bad and kind of stuck up or whatever. I'm just kind of over Brody right now. I just need we're on a break. You know what I mean? Me and Adrian Brody are on a break. I'm not mad at him. We just need some time apart. That's kind of where I am right now. Alex says Eden releases in 2 weeks in Europe. Oh my God, is that the one with that's the one with Sydney Sweeney and Ana de Armas, right? And Vanessa Kirby? Holy Lord. That's the Ron Howard film. I know what you're talking about now. Oh, so you're in Germany and you're going to be able to see that. Dude, don't take your Dune popcorn bucket to that viewing because that's my cast right there. Sydney Sweeney, Ana de Armas, Vanessa Kirby, I love. Man, I want to see that one. I didn't know that actually though, Alex, until you just told me that. I didn't know. I don't know why I didn't know it didn't have U.S. distribution because that premiered at, was it Sundance that premiered at? I didn't put that in my 2026 video either. Thanks for tuning in from Germany though, brother, buddy. That's awesome. Brody said he had met with Chazelle for the part of Shelley Saltman. Okay. All right. So that's who he would be playing. And I didn't know about him getting attacked by Knievel either with a bat. I don't know. I might want to see DiCaprio go after him with a bat. That might be kind of cool. Let's see. And Joey says, I know the Academy doesn't like horror movies. Way too early. I could see Guillermo del Toro winning Best Director since the Academy likes del Toro. I put it in my 10. Joey, that's the good news. The bad news is I did it way too early. I'm just guessing at this point. I've only seen that one still of like the lab. But to your point, Joey, that's why I did it, because it's Guillermo del Toro. Even with Pinocchio, even with like Pan's Labyrinth getting nominations, obviously we know what The Shape of Water did like 4 or 5 years ago. So they love him, and they should. He's a great auteur, and he's a real champion for cinema, which is a big thing right now. You can see that theme with Sean Baker this year too. So I do think that that's going to be a player. Now, the flip side of that could be that it's a player, but it's a player as in the same way Nosferatu was this year, right? It got 4 nominations, which was great. I mean, it was awesome. It didn't win anything. I wish it had. It got some great wins on the circuit, but not at the Oscars. But it could be that situation where, they award Del Toro for like an adapted screenplay or production design or makeup, which obviously all that stuff's probably going to be phenomenal. Visual effects, I mean, who knows? So I hope not, but we won't know till we see it. Now, with that being said, some things that have happened the last couple of years have kind of even messed me up a little bit when visually trying to figure that stuff out. Like, if you'd asked me 6 months ago if The Substances was going to get nominated, I would have laughed at you. You know what I mean? But not only did it not get nominated, it got nominated for majority of the top of the line categories. So it's hard sometimes to kind of figure out collectively what they're going to do. But as of right now, when I did my way too early video, which obviously I'm going to update, probably every month or bi-monthly until we get to like August and September, then I start doing like early predictions, like actually, when some movies have come out and I've been able to see them and people are giving reviews for them and that kind of stuff. So right now it's literally just a guess, but I do have it in my 10 currently, but I have it right there at that 10th spot. If it wasn't Del Toro, like for instance, Maggie Gyllenhaal's doing a Frankenstein movie this year too called The Bride. That's going to be a musical, which the Academy typically loves musicals. So like a horror musical, I guess. I'm really excited to see it. Christian Bale. You guys know, you probably heard of it, but it looks really good. Jessie Buckley as the bride. But see, that one I didn't put in the 10. Even though it has a lot of those qualities that the Academy likes, it doesn't have Del Toro. And that's why that one kind of gets nudged up a little bit. It's because of his involvement. Right now I've got it in the 10, but man, that would be so great. Because you're right about the horror bias, but then they do things like they did this year with The Substance, and you just go, okay, I guess you guys aren't doing that. I don't know. Let's see. The battle between Spielberg, Nolan, and Villeneuve in 2027 is going to be awesome. I'm worried, AJ, about Denis. I'm worried because Messiah is weird, man. That's the 3rd film in the Dune franchise, assuming we just get the trilogy. At least from him, that's probably all we'll get. That's a weird story. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but I actually went on the Wikipedia page and like read some of the plot of Dune Messiah. So Denis is going to have to figure out how to like make that digestible for anybody really, but definitely for the Academy voters. It's got a lot of weird, like I took acid and went out in the desert and wrote 200 pages of this shit vibes to it. So that worries me a little bit, like how much they're going to be receptive of it. I think in knowing what I knew about the stories, even before I refreshed myself on Wikipedia, I think Dune Part 2, unfortunately, maybe have been his best shot. Because that's the most like kind of action-oriented chapter in the series, and it probably has the most spectacle. And I mean, you guys know how much I love that movie. It was like my number two, I think, or two or three of the year. So I loved it. I just hate this whole thing. And I did a whole video on Wicked, by the way, which will be out tomorrow. But it's the same thing where I just hate this mentality of like, we know it's chapter 1, 2, 3, whatever. We know we're getting more of it. You know, they obviously with the Lord of the Rings that worked out, right? But that's also pretty much the only example in Oscars history, at least that I can think of. So like, if it's the best, it's the best. You know what I mean? Like, if it's and if you didn't want to give him, you know, Baker got the win, that's great. If you didn't even want to give him the win, you're telling me he's not one of the 5 directors that should have been nominated this year for Dune Part 2? I mean, are you insane? Like, even if you don't like the movie and you see what he did, I mean, it's just like, I'm just still, every time it comes up, and I know you didn't mean to do this, AJ, but every time somebody brings it up to me, I'm just like, man, they just didn't do it again for him. And so now it's almost like they have to, you know what I mean? Or he's not going to get the recognition for it. And my fear is 2 things. My fear is either he doesn't get the recognition and he gets snubbed for the 3rd consecutive film that's probably going to be amazing, at least from a direction standpoint, or they give it to him for a lesser effort, because his effort in Dune Part 2, and frankly in the first one too, is like A+++, like 100 with extra credit points. So if Dune Messiah is not as like of a spectacle in terms of his effort behind the direction because of the source material, and that's the one he wins the Oscar for, then it's like, all right, you know, you're giving it to him for the series, that's cool, or nomination or whatever the case may be. But I just get worried about that. Spielberg, Nolan, Villeneuve, who else? See, that's true though, that they're still doing it and still doing it at such a high level. And I don't know about the Odyssey either, man. That is a huge undertaking. I mean, I think it will be a giant Oscars player. I think. I mean, you know, it's Christopher Nolan, so you almost have a little bit of an idea what it's going to look like. You know what I mean? Kind of. And you got to imagine, like, the technical craft is going to be, like, out of this world. I mean, with the sound design and the cinematography and all that shit, it's going to be, like, you know, at a minimum, we're looking at, like, a lot of technical stuff. Joey says, your favorite movie of the year was Saturday Night. Oh, you had wished it got some more love this season. Yeah, I said that with my buddy Fuji, actually. We did our series where we swapped out Oscar nominations, and I said that. I don't know why it didn't. I thought, for at least for like adapted screenplay and score, the score was really good in Saturday Night. But yeah, it didn't get anything, which I thought was weird. I think Gabriel LaBelle had a Golden Globe nomination, I think, for a musical or comedy. But even he wasn't my strongest performance in that movie, really. But yeah, it didn't get a lot of notoriety this past year, which was a bummer. Timmy's your favorite actor. His performance in Beautiful Boy was devastating. Yeah. Now with Dune and A Complete Unknown, he's entering his prime. Yeah, you know, Marty Supreme could be it, man. I think he's definitely getting a nomination. I think anytime he puts out any kind of movie where he plays like a dramatic role and it's with a esteemed filmmaker, that he's getting nominated. That's what I think. I mean, you know, we were talking about Leo earlier. I think he might be the next Leo where, you know, he's nominated for every movie he's in for the next 20 years until they decide to give him one. I hope that's not the case. But even if he were to win this year, let's just say, I think he's still going to keep getting nominated. I mean, I don't see him cashing it in based on the number of awards he has on his shelf. You know, I think he gave that speech at the SAGs and he's like, I want to be the greatest. I want to be the best, you know? And I think that's true. And he's only 29. So he's not going to feel like he's the best at the age of 30, you know? He's going to keep at it. He's going to have that hunger. So, but you're right about him kind of entering his prime. I mean, he's entering that moment, you know, that a lot of actors hit like between 30 and 40. You know, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, even Clooney to a certain extent. You know, he came on a little bit later, but you know, when they hit, they're hot for like 10 years. You know, everything they do is like gold, you know, and he's getting to that spot. And I think probably it started with A Complete Unknown, really. I think A Complete Unknown, I've known him forever, but I think that movie really introduced him to just a lot of people. Like I was listening to Are you guys familiar with shit? What is it? Because I don't listen to it very often. But whenever there's somebody on it that I want to listen to the interview, I'll listen to it. It's called Two Bears, I think. It's Bert Kreischer and what's the other comedian? I can't remember. Anyway, it's two dudes, and they have interviews basically and whatever. And they were talking about Timothy Chalamet, and they were talking about how much they love him. And they're both just like, I love this dude. I don't fucking care what anybody says. You know, people call me gay or whatever. I don't care. I love him. Everybody loves the guy. I mean, you know, they know how well he does what he does, and they know how important it is to him. And he's just out there running the game, man. So I agree with you that his time could be coming. So, Alex, you talking about for Eden? Man, I want to see that. I want to see that. Joey's excited for Frankenstein. Joey says, if Amelia Perez didn't have any controversy, do you think it still would have won Best Picture, or do you see Nora would have won? That is the $1 million question, man. We got saved. We got saved big time. To answer your question, I don't know. You know, when me and Fuji did our first video together at the very, very end of January, the reason I remember it so well is because we recorded that literally the day before the controversy broke. And when him and I were, because I remember thinking the video was going to be outdated when I put it out, but we recorded it, and both of us who do Oscar predictions were pretty confident that we were going to be hanging our heads because it was going to be Amelia Perez this year, and it was going to be another year that reminded us of Crash or Green Book or whatever, where it was like a movie that we didn't like ended up winning everything. So if the trajectory had continued, then I don't know what would have made me change my prediction. You know, thinking hypothetically with no controversy. Because, you know, DGA and PGA came along, and of course Honora won those big, but would they have without the controversy? You know, we don't really know. Voting was open for pretty much everything after the controversy, with the exception of the Globes and the Critics' Choice, right? I think. So, and the BAFTAs didn't care. I mean, you know, they didn't give a shit. So even though voting was still open for the BAFTAs for a couple days or a few days, I think it didn't affect them at all. If they liked it, they were voting for it. So I think, to answer your question, I probably would have stayed with my prediction, because 13 nominations. Now, of course, the most nominated film doesn't always win, but if it had continued to win on the circuit, because it had won at the Globes, right, which was pre-controversy, it had won at the Critics' Choice, the international feature at least, and I think it may have gotten one other thing there too. Oh, song, I think original song, maybe something else. But it had some wins at the Critics' Choice. So if it had continued to, and then Zoe was winning everywhere, if it had continued to do that, you know, without the controversy, then yeah, I probably would have stuck with it, because the strength would have probably been there for me enough to predict it. Because if you think about it, what happened on the circuit with Honora is because Honora was my number 2 pre-controversy, even though it was my favorite. I didn't predict it to win because of Amelia Perez. So when that controversy broke and we got the PGA and the DGA results, which was enough for me, I was like, all right, we're good. I mean, that's it. That's who I'm predicting to win, period. I mean, I don't, you know, unless they get some kind of controversy and something crazy happens, that's what I'm predicting. So had that not happened and the voters were not affected, or maybe they just like Honora the best, you know, I don't know. I mean, we'll never know. I mean, there's no way to know. Unless you went around and took a poll and asked every single person that voted in the guilds, I mean, there's no way you would know if the controversy really affected the vote, or if maybe we were just off in our perception of how strong Amelia Perez was. I'm just glad it didn't happen. I'll tell you that much. Let me take a sip. What do you guys think of this new layout? AJ said he likes it. You can tell if I gotta see if the let me go back over here real quick. I want to show you guys something if you're still here. Man, that is bright, isn't it? Oh my God. Let's see if I can get this to work. Let's see. Let's see if I can go to my Streamlabs. I want to show you guys something real quick. Now, I don't know if it'll work on a live stream. Let me try. Maybe. Keep your eyes on the screen here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. And then I'm going to do that last one's the one I really want you guys to see. I got Mikey in there if anybody does a super chat. And then there's this thing down here in the bottom right under the chat box. Right now it says Kevin, which is like a fake account, I think, unless Kevin's here. Kevin, if you're here, I'm sorry, you're not fake. But that's like a, what do you call it, like a stream meter or whatever. So like whoever or not comments, but I think it's set up to do super chats and subs or something like that. And you get X number of points for them. So I don't know, I thought that was cute. Like if I do an Oscars live stream or something, I have a lot of people in here usually, so I just wanted to see what it looked like. But this one, I don't know, I was so happy about this. It's our girl right there. That's your Best Actress winner right there. Dude, Kevin is balling out. By the way, Kevin's not real. I'm confirmed Kevin's not real now. Let me go back to my letterbox and I'll show you guys. I'm going to have to wrap up soon because my kids could wake up at any second. But I did want to show you, and I wanted to see what I should add to it. Where the hell is it? Oh, here it is. Let me share my screen again so I can show you. Oh, I forgot I have my Stream Deck too. All right, so this is my on the radar. I'll go back to your comments too in case you guys want to throw any up there. Questions, I mean. So these are my on the radars. They're not ranked though. This is just in alphabetical order. And this is essentially what I did the video on. Now I want to edit the list. I think it was Joey that mentioned Eden, right? Well, that's wrong, but it says 2024, but it'll be eligible because of the U.S. release. All right, so Eden. What was the other films you guys mentioned? I see Nick's here. Nick, tell me if this stream looks like shit, because I know you will. I got to go back through the comments. Let's see. Let me go back through the comments here. I know you guys mentioned a couple that I wanted to add here. On what to look out for. Oh, the Evil Knievel. What's the name, AJ? What's the name of the Evil Knievel one? That was one that you mentioned, or did they not give it a title yet? Let me see. Let me save this real quick. You guys hear that rain out there? Can you hear that on the stream? I don't know. It's raining really hard here. Maybe I'll get electrocuted while I'm doing the stream. Let me go back up here. Let's see. Maybe if I just search for Adrian Brody. I don't know if you guys know if that has a title or not yet. Let's see. Sort by release date. No, it's gonna. Might not even be on here yet, huh? Let's see. Let's try this. Evil Knievel biopic 2025 or 2026 maybe. Here we go. A biopic about Evil Knievel, directed by Damien Chazelle, starring Leo, is in development. So it probably doesn't have a name yet. Oh, here we go. Evil Knievel on tour. Does that sound right? Does that sound right? Evil Knievel on tour. Let's try that. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. We figured it out together, guys. And look at that. They already have him listed. Shelley Saltman, AJ. That's what you said. So they already have him on the cast list there. Leo's playing Knievel. So we're going to add that bitch to the list, because I don't know if that's coming out this year, though. Is it coming out this year? I'm going to put it on there for now. So these are in alphabetical order for the most part. And I think the 10 that I had, where did I have that screenshot at? I did a, where did I make that in? I think I made it in Canva. Let me go to my Canva. I'll leave that open though. Hang on. Good thing we're all friends here, except Nick. Here's some videos I have coming out, guys. So this is my, you guys get a little insider tip here. Actually, tell me which thumbnail you like better. Do you like this one or this one? These are my favorite films from women directors that'll be out this week. I think I like this thumbnail better. I gotta be honest. And then I'm doing this one Friday. This video will be out Friday. This is my last Oscars 2025 video. I can't remember who it was. It may have been AJ, but somebody commented like, please stop doing Oscars videos. This is my last one because I wanted to do the worst snubs from the year, and I just haven't gotten to it yet, so it's kind of late. But that's the one I'm going to do. But I think I'm going to have to go with this one. That's Jen from Revenge, which was Coralie Farjat's first movie, by the way. What the hell was I showing you guys? Oh yeah, let me find the here it is. Why is it so little? Where's Nick? Nick might have to. Oh, here we go. Make it bigger. All right, so I'll go back to your comments in a second. So this is what I have currently for everything that's on that list. This is what I rated them in terms of the likelihood for them to be nominated for Best Picture. So as you can see, for me, the top three pretty easily right now, awaiting reviews and reception and whatever, just on, word of mouth and hypotheticals, is the Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Wicked for Good. Those three, I think, if I was a betting man on something like this, I would bet on those three. Hamnet as well, because that's Chloe Zhao, obviously super successful with Nomadland, and this is Oscar bait. It's got Oscar bait written all over it. It's a story it's based on something that really happened in Shakespeare's life, like a personal Shakespeare story, not like a Shakespeare play. So that could be huge. No Other Choice is kind of like my international representation. That's Park Chan-wook. I just saw Sentimental Value is going to be premiering at Cannes, which could be huge for that. Caught Stealing is the new Edward Berger. Highest to Lowest is the new Spike Lee. And then Frankenstein that we talked about a minute ago from Del Toro. Everything in yellow is like flip a coin and, who knows. In fact, there could be nominees that aren't even on this list because there's shit that's going to come out that I haven't even heard of. If Nick's still here, I'll tell Nick this is right here is our girl Celine Song's new movie, The Materialist. It's I'll show you on you'll be excited about it. I'll show you on Letterboxd. So Celine Song of Past Lives. But the reason I'm worried about it, and by the way, I think that's Spielberg's daughter. I think. Will it tell me? Or son? I'm sorry. Is that's his son, right? It would be too obvious if that wasn't his son. It doesn't say, but I think that's his son. Okay. So there's the Chris Evans that we were talking about, maybe doing a role that's not stupid. A Netflix action movie. And then Dakota Johnson. So this is like going to be a romantic comedy, right? Read this, guys. A young, ambitious New York City matchmaker finds herself torn between the perfect match and her imperfect ex. That's a rom-com, right? With Dakota Johnson. Everybody's talking about that. It doesn't scream Oscars to me. But the Celine Song factor makes me excited. But I thought Nick would be excited about that one. I wanted to show him that one. Oh, man. So here's the PTA one, by the way. This is your number one with a bullet, dude. Right here. This is your Oscars player for this year. Okay? The only thing is, if it hits, is it going to hit like There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights? Like, is it going to hit like that? Or is it going to hit like, or even, what was the one with the Phantom Thread? Or is it going to hit like Licorice Pizza? Which was like, it was okay. They liked it, but it wasn't like, holy shit, PTA, here's every award we have. So, I don't know. This one sounds a little bit, I've only seen a couple stills from it, but it sounds a little kind of like Michael Mann's Heat to me. It sounds a little like crime thriller kind of. When their evil nemesis resurfaces after 16 years, a band of ex-revolutionaries reunite to rescue the daughter of one of their own. Sounds great, but do you see what I mean? Like, I don't know. The premise just doesn't sound Academy to me. But with it being PTA, maybe it will be. Let me go back to the chat. So I want to see what you guys think of some of those. We talked about that. We talked about that. AJ says he's worried about Messiah also, but he said he would make it if it wasn't going to, or he would not make it if it wasn't going to turn out better than the first two. Ooh, okay. All right. All right. All right. I have the reservations based on the source material and based on what you guys should go read the plot synopsis on Wikipedia. You'll be like, what? I mean, I don't even think you can film some of that stuff without getting like an X rating between me and you. Do you think Oscar voting will end after BAFTA and SAG going forward, or is the voting window going to be the same as this past year, where it ends before the SAG Awards? No, it usually doesn't actually. So usually the Screen Actors Guild and the Film Independent Awards happen on the same weekend almost every year, at least as far back as I can remember. And those are usually the weekend before the Oscars voting ends. That's usually the way it's set up. So I think this year it was out of whack because the the awards voting was all kinds of shit was going on because of the LA fires. And a lot of stuff got mixed up and delayed. So it's kind of hard to really, you can't trust this year's award schedule because it's definitely not going to be like that going forward. Let's see. Thank you, AJ. I appreciate it. Thank you, Nick. God willing. What is that? Oh, you mean me dying of electric shock? Yes. Hasn't happened yet. I'm still here. Let's see. What do you prefer, the original Frankenstein or the sequel, The Bride of Frankenstein? Are you talking about the old school Universal Monster movies? The original, the OG. I got him on my wall back here. It's one of the first horror movies, even though it's hard to, sometimes people don't think the old stuff's horror, but whatever. One of the first horror movies my son saw, that one, and The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and Jaws. Those were like his first 3 horror movies. Yeah, I mean, along with like 1922's Nosferatu, I mean, like, those are classics, man. Absolute classics. I do love The Bride of Frankenstein too, and I'm extremely excited to see what Maggie Gyllenhaal does with The Bride this year because I think, I could look it up here, but I think it's like a modernized version of Frankenstein with Christian Bale as the monster, Jessie Buckley's the bride, but it's like in present day, I think. So that, and it's a musical, I also think. So these are all different snippets I've heard over the course of the production of that movie. So at the very least, I mean, she's trying something different with the story. So that's very exciting. I just think Del Toro's is going to be a little more palatable and a little more like normal, if you will, for the Academy. But again, that could get the Nosferatu treatment where they give it, 5 tech nominations, let's just say, but then it doesn't get any of the major nominations because it's a horror movie. But for me personally, the original Frankenstein is where it's at, man. What are you wrong about, AJ? What happened? You're never wrong in here, brother. Okay, so is that for the Evel Knievel? So that's probably next year. I think that would probably be on next year's docket, which is kind of what I was thinking too. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too, if that's what you're talking about. Um, Tony's in the house. He probably dropped that comment and left. Emma Stone is greater than Meryl Streep. What do you guys think? Here, let me see if I can do this real quick. How do I? Let me see if I can do this. Streep, Stone. All right, let's see. There you go. You guys can vote in the chat now. Let's see. We'll see what we think there. That's a hot take, but you know what? They're both great. I mean, you might be onto something, dude. I mean, Emma Stone has got such an eclectic resume. I just think it's hard because Meryl Streep's been at it for so long, but I mean, we were just talking about Timmy earlier. I mean, if you get these bangers back to back to back and you start building them up, It might not take long for her to catch up, right? I don't know. I don't know. It might be Emma Stone, man. You might be onto something. Do you think Robert Eggers could get an Oscar nomination one day? Yes. I thought it might be this year because Nosferatu was like, man, that was such a well-crafted machine, dude. That was, I mean, you guys know if you follow my channel that was my number one movie of the year last year. So, I was happy it got the nominations that it got, but Eggers is just so like dedicated to authenticity and to like just making it real. You know what I mean? And there should be some accolades for that. There should be something should be said for that. He doesn't like Hollywood it up, to make it more accessible or whatever. He just makes it like, I mean, the first time I saw The Witch, which I love, by the way, I couldn't understand anything they fucking said the whole movie. I had to rewatch it later at home with subtitles on to be like, oh, okay. And the same thing with The Northman. Like, I love the movies, but it takes a few viewings because, like, he's so into the time period, the dialect, like, and the level of research that he puts in for these films. I mean, Nosferatu, for example, was a movie or a movie for sure, but a story, just like even as an extension Dracula, but it was a story that, I mean, he'd been following since like middle school, and he did like a horror stage musical with his friends or whatever when he was in high school based on Nosferatu. I mean, the dude's practically been making that movie since he was in like grade school, and he's just so dedicated to the craft of it. I think he will, though. I think, him, Ari Aster, Jordan Peele, who already got some love with Get Out, but I think those dudes are going to be in this new kind of wave that we're seeing with the Academy. I mean, Coralie Farjad got a nomination this year, which I'm thrilled by. But my point is that she got that, he can get one. I mean, we're having that wave. Times are changing. Like, they're starting to see these new filmmakers that do these genre films. They just do it so well, And I mean, I think what would be great for him, Joey, is if he can get like a DGA nomination. Something like that, Nominated for like the Globes for drama or whatever, and then DGA, and then be like, okay. Because sometimes that's seen as like a permission slip kind of for the Academy when the other bodies start doing it. Oh, you can already see the odds for On Call Sheet. Do they have PTA at number 1? I wonder if they do. I would think they probably do, unless it's like Wicked for Good, and they're like, yeah, it's time to give Wicked, because they didn't get it for first one or whatever. Okay. Somebody said that in one of my comments. I mean, they said it jokingly. It was somebody that's a regular on the channel, so that's why I thought it might have been you, but I can't remember. But I was like, no, I can't. I got to do one more. And then they came back and they were like, okay, I want to see that one. So, yeah, I got one more about my worst Oscar snubs, but then that'll be it. I know. I agree with you, sir. Let's see. Do I think F1 could be an awards movie? It depends on what your definition of awards movie is. It can get VFX. It could get sound, editing. It could definitely get editing. I don't think it's hard. I mean, Ford v Ferrari got the picture nomination. That was James Mangold, a little bit different, but I don't know. It could surprise. As I'm sitting here right now, I see it much more as like a action movie, like a Top Gun Maverick, which of course got nominations as well. But I don't know. I think it would be more of a technical bump for that movie. Like I said, I could very easily see it get editing and sound right away, just period, without even seeing anything. I could tell you that. But other than that, I would say probably just a tech player. That'd be my initial reaction there. Yeah, it does have Sean Penn in it too. Chris Evans is the imperfect X, he says. You're probably right on that, actually. That's probably accurate. Let's see. AJ says A24 is another packed year. They have Marty Supreme, Mother Mary. God, I'm so happy for. Oh my God, I'm so excited for Mother Mary. Did you guys see that? Do I still have it up here? Let me go back. So Mother Mary, look at this shit, dude. Anne Hathaway, Marry Me. So, and Hunter Schafer I love too from Euphoria, and she was in Cuckoo last year. Trans actress too, by the way, so it would be huge to get her in there. But I have a good feeling about her, and obviously Anne Hathaway. And look at this, guys. David Lowery is the man, dude. Like, he is such a good filmmaker. And not to mention that, look at the stash. The Green Knight was stellar. A Ghost Story I loved. I know it's divisive, but I dug it. So he's one of those kind of like auteur filmmakers too, that is due for some kind of shout out on a higher level. But I'm really excited for Mother Mary. Highest to Lowest, which is the new Spike Lee. Materialist, the drama. Oh, the drama I need to add. Somebody mentioned that to me the other day. Which one is that again? That's the one with Pattinson too, right? I think Pattinson's in that. Hang on, I need to add that one. Is that this one? No. It's the same director that did Dream Scenario. Is it this one? Maybe it is. Yeah, Pattinson and Zendaya. Yeah. So let me, how do I add this shit? Here we go. Add. This thing's in my way. There we go. Okay, so that's been added. So that was one I needed to add. So thank you, AJ. And I'm going to take off the, because this is most likely, I think Nick's right, guys, right? We're confirmed that's probably 26 that the Evel Knievel's coming out. So I'll just remove that one for now. But yeah, I'm excited for all of those, especially Mother Mary, and especially seeing Timmy with that little pencil thin stash in Marty Supreme. That's my guy. Eddington. Did you guys see that video I made? So Corey, I can't wait for that either. So that's Ari Aster. Let me show you guys real quick. So this is super intriguing to me. So this is Ari Aster. Sparks fly when Sheriff Joe Cross decides to run for the mayor of Eddington after he refuses to wear a face mask at the local grocery store. Incumbent mayor Ted Garcia isn't happy as he was led to believe he'd be running unopposed. So this has been described as a modern day Western. I mean, do you guys know what the hell this is based on what I'm showing you? Joaquin Phoenix, Emma Stone, Pedro Pascal, Austin Butler. I mean, dude, this is stacked. And this is Ari Aster. So is he doing, because he did horror, right? He had Hereditary and Midsommar. And then he kind of did that. Beau Was Afraid was kind of like, I wouldn't call it horror. I mean, it was almost like a black comedy. I don't. Beau Was Afraid I wasn't super high on, although I respected it a lot. But it was just such a huge swing that I was just like, dude, chill. It made me stressed out. It like gave me anxiety watching it. But I mean, from a craft perspective, it was awesome. But he did that one, and so then this is his next one, Eddington. So now is he back to horror? Or do we think Ari Aster's just doing something completely unlike anything he's done before? Because if this is just a straight up Western, first of all, it's going to be fucking crazy. But I'm into it. Like, I don't know what to expect with this. I really don't. Like, I don't know if this is like a Justified, the TV show kind of deal, or like, I don't know. It's just, it really fascinates me. I think, Corey, did I see that? I think I saw that that's going to be at Cannes as well. So we'll get some feedback on that in the next couple months. But I'm really excited for it. I want to see what he does with that. What are we talking about? Me dying again? I think he's talking about me dying again. Eddington and Highest to Lotus are reportedly being submitted to Cannes in competition. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about with Eddington. That would be huge. By the way, guys, whoever wins the Palme d'Or this year, and if it's Neon Studios, watch that film. I mean, they are like on a fucking tear, dude. I mean, obviously Anora, Parasite, Triangle of Sadness. What else won the Palme d'Or that got nominated for Best Picture? 2 of those won, by the way. But Neon, like, knows which ones to pick up. So hang tight and see what wins the Palme d'Or this year. What's the poll look like? Man, you guys got Stone out in front, 83%. Holy Lord. Prime Streep is untouchable. She's the GOAT for a reason. Stone could get there, but she ain't there now. That was the issue that I was bringing up too. Is I don't know if I just don't know. Oh, Nick, I got to show you something. Nick wasn't here earlier, guys. Let me show him my little. He's gonna be so proud of me. My buddy Nick that I got on screen there. He does live stream for The Cure. You guys should follow his channel there too, because we do it every May and I help him put it on. But we raise money for cancer research. And we just do like a podcast-a-thon, basically. We just have multiple podcasters and content creators on, and we have little segments where, you know, we live stream or do whatever, usually movie-related for me, and we raise money for cancer research. So he does his whole stream, and he produces it, basically himself, and and I'm like trying to figure out how to get a chat thing to come up on the screen, so I thought he would be proud of me for doing this, so I was going to show him. So I got this little thing set up. Nick, when somebody subs, when somebody becomes a member, I got Doc Brown. And then, of course, if I get a super chat, it's Mikey. I was going to have her on the stripper pole, but I didn't know if that would be in poor taste. I might be proud of me if I did that. That's my little stream widgets there. Okay. I mean, I tend to kind of agree with Nick on that one, guys. I think Meryl Streep's just been at it for, what, like 40 years? I mean, he's right, though. Emma Stone is like, I mean, she's taking the roles, and she's working with the right filmmakers, whether it's Chazelle or Lanthimos as of late. Like, those guys are always in the mix. Their movies are always being studied, and they have a spotlight on them. You know what I mean? So, if you're the lead actress in that film, then you're going to have a better shot right out of the gate. So, she's making very, very smart choices. I just think it might take her a little while to catch up to Meryl Streep, even though as I'm sitting here and you guys were talking about it, I might prefer Emma Stone's filmography as it is right now if you're doing like percentage. Like there's probably more films in her filmography that I would want to rewatch than Meryl's. You know, but that's just me personally. Did we already talk about that? Yeah, I mentioned that. Let's see. Joey's got the, oh, you're admiring his profile pic. So let's see. Allie says the top 4 for picture right now are Wicked, Marty Supreme. Okay. Battle After Another, Avatar. Huh. And they're all around 65%. Wow. I would not have said Marty Supreme. I didn't even put that in my 10 as you guys saw. I don't know about that film. It's one of the Safdies. It's like their first big release. I don't know. I mean, it is a biopic, right? It's based on a real dude. So that's going to help it. But I don't know. What are we talking about, Gaston? Man, that was such a shit show. Yeah, Emma Stone. Yeah, I hate this, by the way. What is Netflix is not a cinema player. It drives me crazy. If you guys are watching right now live, throw me a thumbs up just so I can get some likes on the video. But The Ballad of a Small Player is the new Edward Berger. Jay Kelly is the one. Who's the director of Jay Kelly? That's Noah Baumbach. Yeah, Catherine Bigelow. Train Dreams is supposed to be really good. And then the new Knives Out. So it's like, I don't know about Netflix and the Oscars. I'm not sold on that being a winning combo yet. I just think that the old school Hollywood people are like, streaming sucks. You're basically the poster child for streaming. So I'm not going to vote for you. I don't know. I mean, of course, I don't know. I don't know anybody on the Academy. But, I mean, that's the impression I get because there's been some bangers that, and Amelia Perez not included, that just didn't get the love that I think they would have gotten had they had a traditional cinematic rollout. So the Netflix thing worries me. And, of course, they have Del Toro's Frankenstein, too. So now Pinocchio did well for them. They distributed Pinocchio for him. Now, that was animated for the most part, but I mean, that did well. So it is possible. I just don't know where the Academy's head is when it comes to streamers. And I wish, and I know this is an argument that is like banging your head against the wall, but I wished Netflix or Apple with F1 or like whoever it is would commit to theatrical. That's what I wish. Because let's just say Netflix, $1 billion profits, whatever, whatever. Me and Nick have a buddy named Dan who could quote you to the penny right now what they made last year. If they committed, like, we're going to do 90 days in the theater, no questions asked, period. It will not be on Netflix. And the earliest it will not be on Netflix until 90 days after theatrical release. And I'm just throwing that number out there. Whatever number you think is 60 days or 120, whatever. If they did that as the behemoth that they are, and they showed that commitment to theatrical, I would imagine it would make other streamers more apt to do the same thing. And not only that, it would help studios maybe keep their movies in theaters longer too. I think collectively the studios and the big heads up in the offices need to collectively kind of get together and say, we need to either buy into the theatrical experience and to the future of cinema, or we need to keep making as much money as we can by just throwing it on people's TVs. And right now I think it's the latter. So I don't trust in the executives to make the right decision when it comes to like the experience versus the dollar. I don't. And I think we're being proven by that. And I don't know if the Academy has to change the rules so that they play by those rules to be eligible. Maybe that's what would happen, almost like an ultimatum. But because right now I think the Academy has something about like 2 weeks or something like that, which is nothing. I don't know the exact, but I think it's like it has to be in theaters for like 2 weeks. I mean, I can make a movie tonight and put it in theaters for 2 weeks. I mean, that's not, that's nothing. We need like some kind of commitment. And I just wish that really Netflix would get on board, because they are the ones that are really, I mean, look at these movies that AJ has on the screen. And, they do that shit every year. I mean, they got Scorsese, I mean, it's not like they're working with no names. And Noah Baumbach is doing a lot of stuff with them now after Marriage Story. Well, the Marriage Story got a nomination too. But I just don't know about the wins for them, because I feel like a lot of people on the Academy might still just think of them as a streamer. And it's going to be frowned upon by some old school Hollywood peeps. I mean, it's my 2 cents. It just frustrates me as somebody that champions the theater experience. Nick says it's Ari Aster, so there's going to be a ton of weird, naked, elderly people and overly dramatic acting. And I'll swear it's the greatest thing. I wasn't huge on Beau is Afraid. That one didn't blow me away like I thought it would. But yeah, anything with old naked people, let's do it. So, Eddington is a comedy? Does it tell me on here? Let's see. Genres. You're right. Comedy, horror, mystery, and Western. Guys, that just doesn't sound Oscar. It does not sound like Oscar to me. Does it? Man, what if he won the Palme d'Or for that thing? Oh my God. Oh man, that would be great. It just doesn't, I don't know. I'm just not feeling Oscar from it. I'm not. Before I go to the next comment, let me go back to, by the way, this is going to be a big one right here. There you go. Chloe Zhao. Paul Mescal's like in everything this year, isn't he? I feel like every one of these movies I pull up, Paul Mescal's in it. Agnes Shakespeare, the wife of the world's most famous writer, struggles to come to terms with the loss of her only son, Hamnet. Guys, remember Hamnet when they start calling out the Oscar nominations. That's going to be a big one. Okay, so AJ echoed that sentiment. Yeah, I mean, that to me, that's more like Beau is Afraid then, because Beau is Afraid was like dark comedy, with some horror elements. So I'm nervous about it. Austin Butler's doing, what's he doing, Joey? He's doing, oh, yeah, you're talking about Caught Stealing? Yeah, he's in the new, is that Edward Berger? Hang on. Or are you talking about a different one? He's in, I think he's in this one. Yeah, he plays Hank Thompson in Caught Stealing. He's a former baseball player who got injured or whatever, and he is into a wild fight for survival in the downtown criminal underworld of 1990s New York City. So I'm into that one too. Zoe Kravitz, Regina King. Look out for her, supporting. I mean, yeah, some players in here. Some big names. So that could be a good one. If that's not the one you were talking about, though, let me know. But I do think he's in something else. Though. What the hell else is he in? I think you're right, though. Is he in Luca's movie? He's not in Luca's movie, is he? No, but Andrew Garfield is. Also, do you guys think Julia Roberts is coming back to the Oscars? A lot of people are saying that. But, Lucas had some struggles lately. He's in a bit of a drought with the Academy. Ever since Call Me By Your Name, really. Now, he had a few films there that were not Oscar-y, like Suspiria and Bones and All. But, I mean, performances-wise, those could have gotten some love. But he's in a bit of a drought right now. So I think he's going to come back with After the Hunt in one way or another. And I wonder if Julia Roberts... I mean, imagine if we get, like, a really powerful, like, Oscar-worthy, like, dramatic performance from her. It's just been so long, really. I mean, Erin Brockovich, maybe? Like, and even that was a little... not comedic necessarily, but it was a little more like... there was a little more levity to that role. It wasn't as dark. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. All right, let me go back to y'all's comments real quick. Oh, they changed the poster for Die My Love. I'm really excited for this one too, guys. Although this is Lynn Ramsey, who I love. And it's got, J-Law, Robert Pattinson, Lakeith Stanfield, who was a surprise nominee a couple years ago. Sissy Spacek is a freaking legend. Nick Nolte, who's also a legend. A woman living in a remote rural area is driven to the brink of insanity by marriage and motherhood. Amen to that, first of all. Yeah, it's, and I said this on my video, but this one sounds a little Night Bitch to me, which was not an Oscar player. It should have been, if you ask me. I think Amy Adams was freaking stellar in that movie. The critics just didn't buy. I don't know why. I really liked it, but I know I'm in the minority for the most part. But this one, it kind of sounds like that to me, and and Lynn Ramsey traditionally is not a horror director, but she's very much like dealing with like the psychosis and of people's minds and like their kind of transformation mentally. I can't even really think of how to phrase what I'm trying to say, but she deals with very like abstract mental, trying to like translate that to screen, which I think she does a phenomenal job, but it also is kind of strange as a result. So I don't know about that one. But I love her, and that would be awesome for her. What's the poll up to? Y'all still got her at 83%? Oh, there you go. Nick dropped the live stream for The Cure. I don't know if these are clickable on the stream. Probably not, though. I don't know. But yeah, you guys should follow that. We're going to be doing it in May. I think the end of May. I can't remember the dates because I'm an idiot, but Nick told me. I think it's like the last weekend of May. But yeah, it'll be a live event. I'll be on there, and we'll have a bunch of content creators and podcasters on there doing various segments to raise money for cancer research. Sentimental Value is being brought to compete at Cannes. See that? Neon. I didn't even know that. I think I did know that. I think I saw it on Twitter. Neon. They had Worst Person in the World too, right? Which was the same filmmaker and same actress. I think they had that one too. We need justice for Renata, by the way. I love her too. She's one of my favorites. Josh Safdie is ranked second behind PTA. Really? Are you kidding me? Is AJ, is that for Marty Supreme, or is that the Smashing Machine? I can't remember which is which. Okay, so that's surprising, first of all. But then AJ says, do you think this has to do with the Christmas release, A24's highest budget, or because it stars Timmy? I think it's possible that it could be all those. I will say this, and I should look this up for one of my videos in the near future, but I will say this. If it has a Christmas Day release in general, and it's not a genre film, pay attention to it. That right away, immediately. If it's a biopic or if it's a drama, then, or really even an indie film, which most indie films won't do a Christmas release, they would have already come out. But if they do, keep your eye on those films right away. The Christmas release date is prime. Like the Oscars portal's opening this week, or the Academy's portal. Here you go. So that's a big one right out of the gate. Timothée Chalamet's obviously been a huge player. I mean, he's another one similar to Leo I mentioned earlier. He's had like 6 roles that have been nominated for Best Picture. His last 6, I think. All of them except for Beautiful Boy, maybe. So that's a huge one. I don't know about the A24 budget thing. I mean, look at Honora. I mean that wiped up, and it was only $6 million to make that. So that could be playing into why people are predicting it. To your point, but I'm not sold on it yet. I'm sold on it for Timmy for a nomination. I really like the editing and Uncut Gems and Good Time, but that was them working together. So if it's a similar style, I would think editing might be in the mix. Maybe screenplay or something like that. I do see it being in the conversation. I just don't know why I'm having trouble with this one and the Smashing Machine in terms of like top of the line, like best picture, best director, like that kind of shit. Like I'm just not there yet. I hope to be proven wrong because I love the Safdies, but also Josh is not the one that's an actor, right? That's Benny Safdie. So this must be, yeah. So Josh is doing Marty Supreme, I think. So Benny Safdie's doing the one with The Rock. So he has even less of a chance, in my opinion. Because if the Iron Claw didn't get nominated last year, and that was a Christmas Day release too, by the way, then what the fuck are we doing? Like, I mean, from a wrestling biopic wrestling story movie that we've gotten recently, the Iron Claw is pure fodder for the Academy, and it missed. So, a lot of that probably went to A24 for not promoting it at the right time or whatever. Same thing with Sing Sing this year, in my opinion. I love A24, but you got to push these films. I mean, that's part of playing the game at the Oscars, man. If you don't push it, if you don't send them the gift baskets, they're not going to watch your movie. They're not going to vote for it. I mean, this is the sad truth. Let's see here. Why do you think the budget is so high for a movie about a table tennis player? I know Timmy probably got a decent salary, but A24 must have a good feeling about it for paying $70 million for it. Yeah, you would think. Who else is in that thing? I know it's got Fran Drescher and who else? Gwyneth Paltrow, right? So she probably got a nice little check. Let's see. Honestly, it might be the rights to it, to his story. Marty Mauser. He's a real guy, I think. He goes to hell and back in pursuit of greatness. So she probably got a pretty sweet check. We know he did. And maybe the rights to the story for this dude may have been pretty expensive too. If he's real, I think it's based on a real guy. Let me find out. What's his name? Marty what? Marty Mauser. Although that doesn't sound real. Maybe he's not. Let's see. Oh, it's based on Marty Reisman. So they changed the name, so maybe they didn't have to pay for the rights then. Huh. Look at that guy. Yeah, he was born in 1930, and I think the movie takes place in the 60s, right? I think. That'll be Timmy's second movie set in the 1960s. But yeah, I think it's based on this dude. So maybe they didn't. I don't know how that works, but it looks like they changed his name. So maybe they didn't have to pay for his story or whatever. Or maybe they did and it was just less. I don't know how that works. So I'm not really sure about the $70 million price tag. I mean, Josh Safdie. I mean, the Safdie brothers are well known, but it's not like, it's not like Spielberg's making a movie. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to kind of see it. I mean, after seeing whatever that fucking robot thing was that Netflix put out this week that I just watched, unfortunately. What was that called again? The damn one with 11 in it from Stranger Things. What was that called? The Electric State, right? $320 million to make that. I don't know if you guys saw that. Here, I'll show you. I didn't hate it, but the whole time I was dumbfounded because I knew how much it cost. This movie, by the Russo brothers, by the way, was $320 million. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but that's all I could think about the whole time I was watching it. I was like, what? What? I could have made that in iMovie with very similar special effects. If you'd given me a year, I could have came up with something that looked like that. It was just crazy. I was just like, what? And then like, look at these actors that you're going to see this and you're going to be like, oh my God, this sounds amazing. But these guys right here, Esposito, Giancarlo Esposito, Stanley Tucci, and Woody Harrelson, also Alan Tudyk too. No reason to even be in the film. Completely underused. I don't know if their scenes were edited out. I don't know, but they were just like drastically missing from the film. I mean, these are like three like powerhouse veteran guys that can, do some stuff for you. Now, Ke Kwan was in quite a bit of it. Anthony Mackie was one of the voice actor. I mean, he wasn't really in it, but these were the two like leads. And I love her. Like, I love Millie Bobby Brown, really from Stranger Things more than anything else. But like, we were talking about, I can't remember who we were talking about earlier. We were talking about Chris Evans. It's funny, it was Pratt for this one. We were talking about Chris Evans and Mikey Madison, and we're talking about the choices that they make. And I'm just like bummed because I'm like, well, Millie Bobby Brown is obviously just like in this vacuum now where she's like getting so much money from Netflix to do whatever. I mean, she did Damsel, right? I think she had another one in between Damsel and this one, I think. Let me look. Oh, Enola Holmes. And I think she had two of those. Yeah, right here. Yeah, two of those. And she has a third one coming. So, you see what I mean? Netflix. 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 That's it. And obviously, Stranger Things is Netflix. So, the Godzilla movie, she was like, daughter, I think, right? So, I just wish that, personally hate to see it. I love to see her making money. I'm happy for her. Great. Get your bag. Like, it's awesome. But like creatively, I feel like she could literally be the biggest star in the world in like 10 years if she made the right choices and like didn't just kind of get lost on Netflix, And it just bums me out. So I like her a lot. So, wow, I got off on a tangent there about the electric state because I cannot believe that thing made $320 million. I'll go back to your comments here. I got to wrap up soon anyway. I got to go check on my kids. You guys are the best, though, for hanging out with me. I just want to kind of check out the new software. And Nick, I got it. If you're still here, I got a, what do you call it? I got a Stream Deck recently. So I can, like, do that if I want to. I can do all kinds of shit. What else can I do? I can, like, play music. Hang on. It's good, right? It's a vibe. It is a vibe out here in the garage, I'll tell you. Let's see. See if I have anything else here before I go. Joey says he's a big Austin Butler fan. His day's coming too, man. His day's coming too. If you want to, what's so funny is if you want to see what young actors are taking over Hollywood, just go put on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood from Tarantino from like 5 years ago. The whole goddamn cast is like everybody that we're talking about right now on the stream. I don't even, except for Millie Bobby Brown, I don't think she's in it. She should have been in it. It would have helped her career out a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Austin Butler, Sydney Sweeney, Mikey Madison, who just won the Oscar. Who else? There was one more young actress that was in that film, too. But anyway, Tarantino just like lined them all up, and he was like, "All right, let me just go ahead and get all of you guys now." Oh, it is clickable in the chat. Oh my God, dude. Oh, in the chat. Okay, not on the screen though, but that's cool. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I thought you said the end of May. All right, well, guess I'll figure it out. Oh, yeah, Margaret Qualley. Yeah, she was in there too. Yep. Me or Tarantino? Nick. Had to wear my glasses. I literally can't fucking see. All right, I'll wrap this up. Let me see how I can do this. So I'm going to use this. Figure out how to use this. I'm going to hide that. I'm going to do this. See, I'm getting good at this. Did the and the subs thing updated, right? See, it updated, but it didn't give me the thing when they subbed. I don't know. What I'm doing wrong. I need Nick over here to help me. Okay, so listen, guys, coming up on the channel this week, I got 3 videos. I'm trying to do a new release schedule now that award season's over. So just so all my regulars know, I'm trying to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So there'll be at least 3 new videos a week. Now that doesn't count if I do like a quick 5-minute movie review or trailer reaction or anything like that, because I usually do those on the fly because they're time sensitive. But for like the long form content, will be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So this week I can show you guys, 'cause I know my regulars are here pretty much. So I have, just look at my thumbnails. So I have this coming out on Wednesday. So this will be Wednesday's video, which is I got to share it with you guys again. Hang on. So this is coming out on Wednesday, which is the my top 10 favorite movies that were directed by women. And it's in honor of Women's History Month. And that's Jen from Revenge. I'll talk about it on the video too, but anybody that's seen The Substance and that liked it, I actually like Revenge better. And now it's not saying anything bad about The Substance, but this is Coralie Farjad's first film. That's Jen right there. That's in the thumbnail. Jen's romantic getaway with her wealthy married boyfriend is disrupted when his friends arrive for an impromptu hunting trip. Tension mounts at the house until the situation culminates in an unexpected way. So this movie's badass, guys. This is like full-blown bad bitch with a machine gun taking care of business. But there's also like a surreal kind of fantastical element built into it. So you can see some of the infancy stages for a movie like The Substance in this movie. And from like a stylistic standpoint and visually, it's awesome. Really, really good. So that's one of the movies that's going to be on my list, but that's coming up Wednesday. And then tomorrow, this will be out tomorrow. So I did a Wicked like research project basically, and I kind of dove in on what are the odds that Wicked could be as successful at next year's Oscars, based on the fact that it's a sequel, that it's a huge general public box office draw, that, you know, how often do actors get nominated for playing the same character, which is not very often. I'll just, spoiler alert. It's happened 6 times in 97 years, so it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. And then just some other factors that I put into it. So that'll be out tomorrow, because you guys know I want Ariana to get something for this role, so I'm hoping that'll happen. And then next Friday will be my last Oscars video for Oscar snubs. Obviously, Margaret Qualley is going to be on my list, which is why she's on the thumbnail. So that's all coming up next week. And then I'm kind of doing it on a weekly basis for now, but I'm also doing a series that you guys voted on my community. I'm doing a series of ranking the Oscar nominees of the last decade. So with Anora and then 10 years. So it'll be like my top 10 Best Picture winners of the last 10 years, Best Picture, Lead Actress, Actor, blah, 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 blah. So all the top of the line shit from the last 10 years. And I'll kind of start that series the week after. So, and then, you know, movie reviews as I see them. The only thing I'm going to be seeing this week that I got asked to do a review with a friend of mine is Opus, which is the A24 thriller starring Iowa Debris and John Malkovich. So that review will be up at some point, probably the end of this week. But that's it. And then I'll just keep I'll just keep doing my thing over here in the garage. You guys are the best. Thanks for letting me play with this new software and try to figure it out. I'll try to be a little more not old man next time I stream. But thanks for you guys letting me practice it. AJ said he saw Revenge and it was badass. Yeah, you got to check that out. You got to check that out if you haven't seen Revenge. You guys are the best. I appreciate you tuning in to this live stream. I'm going to go check on my kids and look out for those videos this week on the channel. And thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys.